Good morning. Good morning. We're getting online and trying to get the cast going up and going.
In that
There
house.
we go there.
So I'd much rather
All
just
right.
put some gravel,
So I'm
water
going
rock,
to
river
ask
rock
you
or
all to
something.
make certain that you have your
Okay.
MREA business. We're going to be in here. Megan was looking for us. Okay. So I'm going to get the MREA business plan template up. But you get yours, 26 plans right here. And here is our template.
Hi, Megan. Are we in here? Yeah.
We're in here. Oh,
You're.
yeah. We switched. We switched this morning. Good morning.
There's a meeting going on. I'm like, gonna be.
We're going to be right here since Linda doesn't have class. We've got several people online. Let's see who we have. We have Irene, we have Whitney, we have Alice. You might leave it open just a little bit until it gets noisy because and it's hot.
Is it hot in here?
A little bit. You've been running.
Yes. It's not normally hot in here.
Well, sometimes it is in the conference rooms. Now that the heat's on.
Is it actually working? Yeah.
Oh, no, no, no. It gets so hot in here. I think it was on Friday. Oh, it was on Friday. I had to have the door of my office open because I was like melting. And I wanted to wear my cute winter sweaters.
Right. I've got all my Christmas sweaters.
I was dying. I was like, David and I were having a meeting. I'm like, I am about to, and I don't run hot. I'm usually
I
cold.
don't have hot flashes anymore.
Olivia's coming on, Connor's coming on. Let's get everybody on board. While we're doing that, I hope everybody's coming to our holiday party. Holiday party is this Friday. Okay, so if you have not done your RSVP, either you can text me or text Yvette, and we'll make sure you get signed up. It's really important that we know if you're coming or not because we got to make sure when we give the caterer our final numbers that the numbers are good, that we've got good numbers, and that we're going to have enough heavy appetizers and libations for everyone. It's a new location. I'm super excited. It is in Old Overland Park. I'll tell you the address right now. It's like 7,400. I remember because it's the same. I believe, well, it's on the main strip of downtown Overland Park. So it is at what's called Stone Manor, and the building outside is gorgeous. 7,400 West 79th Street. So it's literally just 8 minutes from the office. So very, very close. Great location. It's going to be so, so fun. We'll have a DJ, so there's music, there's dancing. Like I said, heavy appetizers and libations for everybody to partake in. But we need to know if you're coming. So please come. You get to take a +1. But that +1 has to be over 21 because we're not checking IDs and that type of thing, and we're serving alcohol. So come, come, come. Super fun. Dress up in your holiday fare, and it's a great time to meet some agents that maybe you haven't had a chance to meet yet. So come join us for holiday fun. All right. Well, we wrapped up last week. We wrapped up Legion 3612-3. I just wanted to ask you all, of the topics, of the Legion topics, were there any that stood out to you that you were like, wow, I hadn't thought about that. I think I actually might consider that type of lead generation. That hadn't been something I had entertained before. Were there any of those for any of you? Lucilia's coming on.
I've only just been in the last three, I think, since the second
Yes.
half of November, and they were okay. I think the last ones were definitely helpful to me and in learning.
Good. Thanks for that, Irene. Yeah, I
Mhm.
want you all remember, as we dive in this week to your business plan, your 2026 business plan. Now I'm going to close. People, hold on a second. You got to kind of push it in. Megan's here with me. I don't have an owl, so it's hard to, we have one of our owls that flew away. The owl flew away. And I want to get the QR code too. So I hope you all, I don't know, are you all going to be able to scan that? Does that work? Tell me if that works.
Connor's trying, let's see.
My screen's a little blurry for it.
Say,
Oh, there we go. I got it now.
Okay, I'm just coming in closer. Coming in closer. If you can do it, great. It's a little bit harder when it's, here comes Martha. Come on in. Okay. Come on in, Martha. Got people online, getting them to check in. That's okay.
Yeah, so did I.
Good morning. All right. Everybody check in. You can slide this down to Martha so when she gets settled in, she can check in so that we'll know who's here. Well, the reason here's what we need to determine. As you're working on your 2026 business plan, and I know many of you have already started it, I don't think most of you have it done. And that's okay. The first time you're in this bad boy, it's pretty overwhelming. So we'll go over it some more. I want to help give you some understanding of the numbers that you're looking at, the whys, why is that helpful, and what it is we really want to determine with this business plan. And it's a couple of things. We want to determine what direction are we going and how much work do we need to do? And then what type of work are we going to do to hit those goals? So although those spreadsheets look like a mass of numbers, and they are way too many numbers for me because that's not my love language. There are some key numbers there that are going to be very important to you. So how many of you actually have your 2026 business plan? I know Irene said that she does. Connor, you have yours. Whitney, you've got yours going. Olivia, do you have your 2026 business plan? Did you receive one yet?
I don't remember. We go pull her file.
Come on in. We're working business plans.
Okay.
Jody's in. Alice, do you have your business plan? At least started. I just watch my cord. I don't want to lose you right off the bat.
yes, I do.
Okay. All right. Elena, do you have your business plan?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay, awesome.
checking.
And Lucilia, do you have your 2026 business plan?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Okay. All right. All right. And Jody, you've got your 2026 business plan? Okay. All right. So bring them up on your computers. If you've got yours, bring them up on your computer. And I'm going to do the same. And I'll share screen here so that we can all see. I can take you through it. Who feels like they don't really know what they're looking at when they look at this business plan? Everybody gets it?
I'm confused looking at it.
Okay, thank you. And I appreciate that because the first time I saw it, I've confessed to several of you, I wanted to puke.
I still.
It was so many numbers, so much going on. I was like, oh, that doesn't look good. That to me is crazy. So I want all of you to click on the economic plan tab. And the tabs on my computer are down at the bottom for this spreadsheet. And I always kiddingly say there are about 44 tabs. I'm exaggerating just a little. But before I dig into this, I do want to do an introduction. So, joining us today, Martha, I'm going to have you come over to me because I've got the only camera right now, and I'd love you to come over and introduce yourself. Martha is joining our program and come right over here next to me. There you
Good morning,
go.
everybody.
Say a little bit about yourself and why you got into real estate.
Um, Good morning. I'm Martha. I got into real estate because I have prior experience as an investor. Um, by day, I'm a full-time mom, registered nurse, and then thought I'd make it official with real estate. So I'm excited to learn this side of business planning, and learn from you all. I think we've interacted with a few of you on tour, and in class. So hoping for a prosperous 2026.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
welcome, Martha. Good to see you.
Welcome.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you with us. That's awesome. Love it. Okay. So Jody, you said you look at this and you still are like, oh goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It is a-okay. There's a lot to it. So let's start chunking it down. I want all of you looking. Now, we provided you with starter numbers. So if you were going to net, and remember the difference, because some of you don't come, I didn't come from a strictly business background. So getting used to the terms of gross income and net income. Gross income is everything before any money's taken out. Okay, before taxes, before company dollar splits that you pay here and to Keller Williams International and to the program. That's before expenses. That's before it's the whole. It's not been picked apart yet. Hasn't been going out to other people's pockets. And I think it's really important that you understand, especially as a self-employed different person, gross and net. Because here's what I don't want to have happen to you. You're going to get your first commission check. You're going to see the total amount and you're going to think, oh, I'm making all that money. Look at me. And then you start doing your commission numbers and everything. And then you're going to go, I'm not making anything. Remember, when you're self-employed, all those things that used to be taken out of your weekly or bi-weekly check, that you didn't feel because they took it out before you saw the money. Now you're seeing the money before anything's being taken out, and you're going to feel the pain in a different way. Okay? Okay.
And you're responsible for paying all those things.
Yeah, yes. You do have to pay all those things. So,
All those taxes.
especially the tax part. So that's why it's so important that you understand the difference, because I've seen it where people are like almost resentful that that any money comes out of that gross. Well, it's just a fact of life, and it's been happening to your whole working life. You just didn't feel it or see it because they did it before you got your check. Okay, so as a self-employed business person, you're going to see numbers differently, and that's why you do have to have some working knowledge of business numbers. Whether that is your natural habitat, it is not mine, but I've learned business numbers because of the importance of them. You cannot run a successful business if you don't understand the numbers that you do have to be aware of. And so in this, what we're going to look at on this tab is, remember, anything in red, you can adjust. And so that's where I don't know what your tax bracket's going to be. That's why we have 30% setting aside for taxes. Yours may be less, yours may be more. I don't know. you do want to be having a tax specialist or a CPA that you start working with very soon because you need to be considering LLCs, S corps, all those different business entities are valuable and have a place now that you are self-employed. No one else is going to run your business but you. And you need to find good partners who can educate you on what do I need to do as a self-employed person? What is it? Because it's different. If you've never done it before, it's a totally different game. You've got to be thinking of different things than you ever thought of before, and you're running the show. So that's where you need to be thinking about what are my monthly expenses? You're going to say, well, I'm new. I don't really have any expenses. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Everybody's renewing for KCRER right now. It's a painful time. I'm waiting until Monday to pay mine, so I don't have to pay the late fee, but I'm just, it is the holidays, and so it's one of the most painful times to pay these dues, but that's what they do. Now, you tracking those because those are business expenses that can be deducted off of your taxes, but you're not going to know how much unless you have a tax professional working with you and helping you, because being self-employed, there are so many more deductions. Do all of you have a mileage app on your phone? Do you track your business miles? It's very easy. No, you need to, as of today, you have to put this on here. Find a mileage app, Mileage IQ. There's quite a few of them. Most of them cost little to nothing. And most of them, what they're going to do is they're going to record every trip, every time you get in your car, because it's based on movement. And then what it does is after you're finished with that trip, it'll say, is this business or personal? You just click business and it tracks all of that for you. It is lovely.
I use Mile IQ. It's very easy.
Yeah, he told me about that, and I still haven't put it on my phone.
Okay, so today that is what you're going to do because it's so important that we track those. You're not going to get the tax benefits if you don't track it, right? And you don't ever want to be audited. It's not fun. It's not pleasant. And that's why you have to track numbers, track expenses, track activity. So I know for some of you, you're like, ooh, that sounds icky. I don't want to do any of that. Well, you stepped into this world of being self-employed, and this is part of what we do. Come on in. We switched rooms on you. We're trying to confuse you, Edgar. Come on in. Come on in. So on this page, we're looking at these starter numbers, and we have it that you would net $37,800 in this scenario. That is you grossing 90,000, and that is you selling approximately 8 houses at an average sales price of 375. 375 has been the average sales price for our new agents this year. So of all the sales from new agents this year, your average sales price was 375, which is great. Used to be like in the 200s. So you're having to sell less houses at a higher price to hit your goals. And that is something I will tell you in real estate. If you want to increase your average sales price, you can. It's not like, oh, I sell shoes and the most expensive shoe I can sell is $400. I can't then go out and I can't mark up any of the other shoes and make them $2,000, right? I probably couldn't do that. I need to go find a shoe that I could sell for $2,000. In real estate, you all can increase your average sales price by just increasing your activities in a different price point, like farming or open houses and that type of thing. So you actually have control of increasing that average sales price. Now, here's what you can't control. You cannot control where the people you know live. You can't tell them all to live in Mission Hills. Right? We can't. And they don't. They live all over. But you can do lead gen activities that get you in front of others in different price points. Pretty sweet, isn't it? There are not many sales jobs that you can go do that. Actually increase your average sale. Like you can't just pump up your construction costs, contracting costs just out of the blue just because you want to make more money. You've got to be competitive. You've got to be able to show them why you charge what you charge and materials and labor and all of that. But we can actually increase our average sales price.
The only thing you can do on my business is go to different kind of clients, you know, high-end clients who pay more for, um,
Or try to see if you can upsell them on materials like nicer finishes or more expensive. But then I don't know how much you actually make on the material, you know what I mean? So yes, you could then target different people. So just remember that. That's really important to keep in mind. So when we look at these numbers, I've shared this with you before. On this page, after you put in your numbers, and if you're not sure what those should be, then start with these numbers. The main thing we want to do is let's get 4 sales under our belt as soon as possible. That is your bare minimum for this program, are 4 sales. Do more, that's even better. This has you doing 8. So this is very, very doable. And the number I care about on this screen is how many appointments. That's line 23. How many appointments do I need a month to make certain I'm going to hit my goal? What is, anybody want to share what their number is per month? How many appointments you need? Is it different than this? Do you have a different goal than the 8 sales?
1.6.
So we round up
One.
one
Yeah.
a month.
Mhm.
You have to have 1 appointment a month with either a buyer or seller to hit that goal. Okay. So your goal and your mindset needs to be focused on appointments, appointments, appointments. I got to get in front of people to be able to have the opportunity to see if they want to hire me. It's not a guarantee. Those appointments aren't, this is like guaranteed business. This is potential, but I have the ability to ask someone, do they want to hire me? Edgar.
how many can you handle yourself with experience?
Ah, okay, good question. How many transactions? I find, I usually can tell you in sales volume, you get over 6 to 8 million, probably 8 with as much technology and everything that you can use, probably 8 million in transaction, in sales volume. So let's do that at 375. Let me,
24 houses
yeah.
a year.
Yeah, 2024. It really depends on you too. Some people can handle more. Some that will absolutely take them to the limit. And it depends on how much leverage you're going to do as far as, have someone help you with your paperwork. Because I'm going to tell you, you're going to be the best judge of when you need leverage. If it means that you're not getting all the paperwork done and everything done timely with a transaction, and you're not able to do any lead generation and things are falling through the cracks, you've got too much business. So I give you that kind of estimate, Edgar, but it really depends on you. Different people can handle different workloads
Yeah.
and juggle different things at one time than others.
Because that means like it's what, like 2 houses a month
Mhm.
approximately?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I felt like seeing the whole structure and everything and, you know, wasting the technology can help you handle a lot of the stuff.
Mhm.
I was thinking like you can handle 1 house per week still.
Yeah, there are people who are doing 50 sales all by themselves, maybe with some admin help, usually with admin help. Like, like transaction coordination, handling all your contracts, all of that.
If you have more than one buyer at a time, it's hard to organize your day because you might have to go show several homes to 3 different buyers in 1 week.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of time management issues.
Yeah.
That you have to keep up with, because if they want to go see 4 or 5 homes, that could take 2 or 3 hours, depending on where you're going.
And then if you have to write an offer after seeing those 4 homes,
And you have another buyer who wants to go see 4 homes. So it's managing your time is because it's.
we can handle more listings at one
Yes.
time than we can buyers. Buyers take up more time. Listings, we're basically doing all of our work before we list the home and go live. And then we're waiting for buyers to submit offers. Because we're usually not showing a lot of buyers our listings. It's not like we as listing agents come with a ton of buyers
Yeah.
for each of our listings.
If you had a buyer, then would it be best, I guess it depends on how many houses they wanted to go see.
Mhm.
So would it be best just to section your buyers out by days? So like Tuesday, one guy.
No.
Wednesday, one guy.
Because listings come on at different times and depending on the market, but that's a great question on how do I balance this? If it's a hot house,
Mhm.
you got to see it like now.
You need to plan ahead. It's like, hey, it's gonna go live Thursday, we're going Thursday at 4.
Especially if it's on a coming soon and it's already on you and the buyer's watch list as something we want to go see. And then we see when their live date is, then we're going to be like, oh, then that's the day we need to go see that. It's usually a Thursday or Friday, but we don't know when a house is going to come on the market that is for our buyer. And that's what makes it tricky. We can't be that organized.
Yeah, you have to be a little more spontaneous.
This is why a lot of agents do like, kind of reserve 3 hours of a day for showings.
Yes.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's why the afternoon should be for your appointments and showings and those types of things. Because that's and you're gonna have some exceptions sometimes. You are gonna show something in the morning. You want to have a basic structure of how your day should go for most of the days, and then there's some days it just explodes and it's gonna go every which way. Inspections are not gonna go well. You've got to hustle and get contractors out there to look at things. That's got to happen. And then, oh my goodness, I have a buyer I have to squeeze in the meantime. So that's where, if you can, focusing on your lead generation in the mornings and then your appointments in the afternoon is ideal and should be the model you strive for. And just know there'll be days that won't look like that at all. And you have to be okay with that. And everything you thought you were going to get done, you're not going to get done. And that's where I think I struggled the most is when I had a crazy busy day and I knew I need to get back to someone. And I don't know how. It's like impossible to get back to them to address what they were reaching out to me about because it might have needed research or that type of thing. And I've been out showing houses for 4 hours and then we came back and wrote an offer and that's 2 more hours maybe. And then I'm having to do whatever else. So just know Megan's spot on. That time management is one, if it's not on your schedule, it does not exist. So if you're not literally putting it on your calendar of what you're going to do when, even if it just says this is when I'm doing my lead generation, that needs to be 3 hours a day or more. Because if you don't make your appointments and you're just clocking out after 3 hours and you get to Friday and you still don't have an appointment, and you need to get an appointment, then really you can't clock out. Does that make sense? We're telling you on average, that should be enough time for you to be able to get in conversation with enough people to get an appointment. That's why the next tab we're going to look at is so important because it's going to tell you how many people you need to talk to. so that you're not guessing. How do I get that appointment a month? How do I get that appointment a month? Here's how many people. It's gonna show you, tell you, this is how many people I have to talk to, minimum, to even have a chance. Because it's really a numbers game. And I don't say that to make it cold and calculating. It's just, it is what it is. These are statistically proven numbers that you can achieve. These are not made up pie in the sky. I think this looks like a good number, right? That's why we have those conversion rates in there so that you're going to have the best opportunity to make this goal because we've already been conservative on how much business you're going to get through your efforts. Does that make sense to everyone? What about those of you on Zoom? Any questions? Who else on Zoom? Tell me your appointment number per month. What do you need to hit per month on line 23?
Mine is 2.2.
Okay.
But I like what you're saying in that you can't clock out if you don't have an appointment. And I have been doing that. I'm like, now I'm done. And it's like, let me move on to the next thing. Can't do it. I need to keep working until I can get that appointment.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes, it's learning that, yes, I put in the time. I didn't get the results yet. I need to continue to put in the time till I get in the results that it says that I need to hit the numbers to achieve my goal.
Well, and recognizing lead gen is not just sitting in the morning and making your phone calls and checking on your database. It's networking. It's out in the community. I went to a dinner party over the weekend and I talked to 2 people about real estate for next year. You are constantly lead genning. That's how you get business.
Yeah.
It's just part of how your day goes once you get into this role.
Yeah, and it's part of your awareness. It's your reticulate,
What you're going for.
activator. It is in your brain, that thing that triggers you to have a sense of awareness about something. So it's like when you buy, let's say you buy a red car, Jody. You may not have noticed any red cars before, but all of a sudden you have a red car and you're seeing every red car out there pops to you because your brain has a heightened sense of awareness. When you're self-employed, you have a heightened sense of awareness when you hear someone talking about buying a house, talking about selling a house. It's like your little ears go start, the antenna, dee, 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 dee. It's that awareness that you have to have, like Megan said, because talking to people is connecting, and connecting is a lead gen opportunity. Now, I'm not telling you go out there and be super salesy and breathe heavy on everybody you're talking to. I'm just talking build relationships so that you can know if someone has a need that you may be able to help with. Because life events cause housing needs. What are those life events? Divorce is one. Marriage is another. Children. Zoom. What are some others?
There's another big one.
Downsizing.
Downsizing, and then I think I heard Irene say death. Yeah, that's
People passing away.
People moving out of state.
Yeah, job relocation.
I think now more than job relocations, I actually think it's more that we see people moving closer to family, either grandparents moving closer to their kids and grandkids, or families wanting to be more centered. You have an older person bringing them closer to the kids to help with care, that type of thing. Those are all life events, and that's why connecting with people and having conversations, you get to hear, are they getting married? Are they having a baby? Having a baby. So those are all life events that we could be helpful. They may have a housing need, so you need to get the antennas up that when you're talking with them, that's what you're finding out.
What was your guys' experience on this market after COVID? Because what I observe as a contractor is a lot of the people start moving to places they want to be, not where they work, because where the place they work, it was not necessary to live there anymore.
Yeah.
They can be working from home.
Mhm,
And a lot of those people start moving close to the beach, close
Mhm.
to family.
mhm.
I don't see it that much right now.
No.
I don't see it right now because a lot of places have demanded that their people come back to work into physical buildings, big place like the government. I have a friend who works for Social Security and she's been working from home for a long time. And now they said, no, you gotta come back in. Right or wrong, we're not seeing that flexibility because COVID dictated that. And then some companies were fine with that and saw work production of their people actually go up because they didn't have to worry with commutes and the juggle with kids and all of those things that make it hard for us to focus. And I was telling somebody I work on Mondays from home. That's probably one of my longest work days besides Wednesday because all I do is I don't stop work because I'm at home. I've been working at home all day. So a lot of times I just go from the kitchen table to the sofa. I just change my environment while I'm still working. So for many companies, the production, the job, the productivity of their employees, but we're seeing fewer people making those decisions, Edgar, of I'm going to move wherever I want to move because I don't have to be there for work. It's always changing. It's always changing. But that's a great observation. Okay, so when we look at this business plan, I want you all feeling, here's the thing. On the number that you choose that you want to make, and you've got to put it in as a gross closed commission. It used to be that you could put the net in as your red number, and I wish David had it that way because now you're going to have to play around with numbers to figure out your net of what you want. So if you want 40,000 or 50,000, you're going to have to put in, 95, 100, something like that to get closer to that amount, so that you can have the net profit that you want. But bottom line is this, is it a number? I want you all to be really honest with me. Is it a number you have to make, or it'd be nice if I made it?
Because you have to make it to pay your bills, and we need to be very realistic about your number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How are you gonna get to that goal?
Well, and also, I find if it's just a nice number it'd be great if I made that. It has to be something that's tied to this.
You need more motivation.
Mm-hmm.
If that isn't your number, like Edgar, you choose your business plan number of what you want to net or what you want to gross. It has to be the number that you own, not one that just looks pretty on paper. Okay. So I don't know for you what you have to make, but I would always start first with what do I have to make? And then I would ask yourself, okay, so if I want to make 10,000 more than that, okay, I'm willing to work really hard for that. If it's 30,000 more, oh, I'll work hard. I don't know if I'll work that hard. If it's 50,000 more than what you have to have, then are you going to bust your you know what to get there? Does it make sense? And I'm not saying don't think big. I want know that here in the beginning, you're going to build up to the big. Does that make sense? Let's just get you through your first year, making enough money and hopefully some additional that you're going to be able to get to your second year. That's going to be really important. But if you go for the big lofty goal up here, let's build towards it because you can do it and you could probably do it within 3 years.
I feel like
Definitely.
you burn yourself really quick when you put big goal instead of putting like step by step until you reach the biggest.
Yeah.
biggest goal.
Because most commonly what we see new agents put in their business plan, it's not, hi Karen, come on in.
That's right by you.
That's okay. Come on in. And just watch my cord over here. I do not want to trip you up and have you go down. So, most commonly we've seen in the past, new agents pick a big number, 100,000 for their first year, which I think is phenomenal. Can I tell you that would be, you'd be working your tushy off. Hard work. It's a doable, but it's like 24/7. This is all you would eat, drink, sleep, do.
Is that,
You do a lot more than 3 hours of Legion a day.
is that gross or net?
Net.
No, net, okay.
I see them saying they want to net 100,000.
Okay.
Again, I'm not against big dreaming, but I know that another thing is ask yourself in the past when you've set goals, how do you feel when you don't make them? Because we all react to goal setting
Yeah.
differently.
You like crap.
Okay. And it was it because
Turd.
and was it because the goal was too big and you couldn't have achieved it anyway and you set yourself up maybe not for success? Sometimes that's what happens. Not always. Sometimes the economy or the world can happen and what we could have achieved got taken away because of something else. And that's going to happen too because our business, just like any business, gets influenced by world events and the economy, local and national and international. All of those things can impact our world. So it's not gonna, if you're going through a really good period and sales are easy and things like COVID, two, two of those years were like unicorn years. You could do no wrong as an agent practically. And agents were making more money than they had ever made in their whole careers. And then things got different. Not bad, just different. So that's where knowing these numbers and where I need to go is going to be so beneficial because this is going to help us with our roadmap of what activities am I going to do to get those 8 closings. Because you could have this goal. We could stop right here. You could all run out the door and you're going to be like, what do I do? Where do I go? What direction? How much of it do I do to hit this? This is why these pages are linked because they take us to you building your roadmap. These are the activities I'm going to do weekly, monthly, throughout the year to make certain that I hit this goal. Does that make sense? So we're building right now with this business plan. So if you haven't done this yet and you don't have one of these, please email me and let me know, and I'll make certain that you have one. And then, because we'll get that started, you'll get that started. And have it so that we're going to have a working roadmap. Instead of you just twirling around and hit and miss and hit and miss, here's what we want. We want you only focusing on a maximum of 3 different kinds of lead generation. Because otherwise you won't go deep enough on any one thing if you're doing a lot of if you're doing like 5 different types of lead gen, you're not going to go deep enough on any of them to get momentum, to build momentum. When you get on a bicycle and have to start pedaling, takes a little energy to get it going, right? That momentum. So riding a bicycle is built on momentum. Building a business, especially this business, is built on momentum. So it is your activities and your focus that gets this going. This business grows as fast as you go. If you go slow, then it's almost like it's almost like an airplane that can't get up off the ground because it doesn't go fast enough. If you're taking, and it's totally up to you, but I'm going to be perfectly honest. If you go slow here in the beginning and like, oh, I got to figure this out. Oh, I got to know everything. That is just keeping you on the ground. You are not going to take off because of the momentum that you need. You need the level of activity that will get you off the ground. And that's why we know that at least 3 forms of activity, not just one, because we don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. What if that one activity you're doing isn't working in this market?
Right.
And it happens sometimes. We've got to reevaluate and say, ooh, that's not working. I'm not getting the results I need to get because I track my numbers. And this is what's happening. I'm not getting enough appointments, or I'm getting the appointments, but I'm not getting anybody to sign with me. Then we've got to do some investigating of why is that happening. And usually when you're new, it's because you're not good at converting yet. You're building that skill. And for most of us, it doesn't just happen naturally on day one that we're like, I got another one. Got another one. You know, you don't have just one conversation and they say, yes, I'll hire you. It's usually we're having numerous conversations.
Yeah.
Right? Any questions about this tab right here? It's also divided between seller business and buyer business, because we know in your first year, it's not unusual to tilt more to the buyers, even though we just told you at the beginning the buyers suck more time. They do. Your goal is to get to a minimum of a 50-50 split of your business. But in the beginning, it may be a little buyer heavy. It's okay. It's okay. You have to recognize that. But if you look at the conversion numbers, here's what's interesting, is that your conversion for sellers is getting them to sign with you. Only 67% we're saying are going to actually, of the people you meet with, only 67% of them are going to sign with you, because they may be talking to other agents. It's more likely on the listing side that someone might be talking to more than one agent. Not a huge difference. But if we look at the buyers, many buyers, they only talk to one agent, and then that's who they pick. So you're going to get the buyers more easily than the sellers, but then look at the sold conversion rate, and that means who's going to close. We're probably going to have a smoother road to closing on the seller side, whereas a buyer might get into inspections and say, oh no, I want to cancel. There's too much wrong with this house. So can you see there's a different danger point with a buyer versus a seller of when you're going to lose them or not get them? Make sense? So that's why it's very important to already know and be okay. It's not okay, but that you're not going to close every deal. You're just not. Even Karen, even if you do everything perfectly, something else is going to happen and it's not going to
Things
close.
you can't control.
Nope. There's a lot we cannot control. So make sure these are numbers. Like I said, my ultimate question for you is, when you put in your gross closed income and it gets you the net that you want, is that a number you own, or is that a number you just sounded good? And when I say you own it, that means you'll work really hard to hit that number, because that's your number. It's not a if I feel like it number. It's got to be, that's why I say always start with what do you have to make and then build from there. Not, yeah, well, would we all like to make 6 figures? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Always.
Can we in this business? Yes. Yes, you can. I believe if you bust your butt, by the end of your second year, you should be at 6 figures. You can be. There is opportunity, but you have to work really hard.
Sounds nice.
And in this market, it's going to be even harder. I'm not going to lie to you. You won't find me fibbing and talking rainbows and unicorns. We're going to talk about real life.
Trying to do that.
Yeah, they do. By the end of my second year, I made six figures. I wanted to replace my, corporate income and I got within $2,000 of my corporate income by the end of my second year. And I worked really hard. That's the only magic. It wasn't like I had some special skill or not. I just worked. But I wasn't burnout because it was so exciting to see this growth happening, this momentum. You start seeing it build and you're like, yeah, this is what it feels like, right? Then you start, no, then you start thinking, oh my God, how can I do one more thing? It's that time management thing that we were talking about. You get what you asked for, and then you're like, whoa, the time
And how
management.
to maintain this. Now I need my leverage.
Yeah, I got what I'm asking for and
That makes perfect sense because like, you say building momentum, it's like when you are starting, that means you probably depends on another income, like you
Mhm.
work somewhere, so that distract you from putting too much
Yeah.
time
Hard.
in business. So when you start building up, then you make money from here that you can dedicate the whole time.
Yes.
In this
Yes.
case.
Yes.
That's why so many of you are doing dual career, be it part-time or full-time, to be able to pay bills. And that's why you have to own this number. Because if you don't, then, and you have to juggle two worlds, think of it, that's why I really want to stress the momentum part is because if you're going to juggle both, it should be short-term pain, right? Most of us can do almost anything if we know we have an end goal.
Yeah.
I'll do this for 1 year. I'll juggle these two, and then I want to be done, but I'm going to do what it takes to get there and not just see if it happens. It will not work. I hate to burst bubbles, but again, I'm such a realist. It will not happen if you're just trying real estate. It means you have to have this business plan. You have to have the roadmap. And then you have to say, I'm going to work that hard. And no, this is my short-term pain to make this happen until I can leverage or let go of the other job. Right? Because that's reality. It's not of, I'm just going to little dabble in it. Real estate, you will never build momentum if you come in and out of real estate. And I dabble a little bit, but then I'm distracted and doing all of this. And I'm not doing real estate. But then, oh, in 2 months, I'll get back to real estate. Unless you're just buying and selling for yourself, investment wise or something like that, it doesn't work to build a business. This doesn't stop and start well, or effectively, I should say, because it's momentum. It is the energy of the momentum of the activities that you're doing that gets this off the ground. And if that's hit and miss, then it's, well, if you're working out or something like that, that energy you feel when you're doing it versus you start and after 2 minutes you stop. You didn't get the energy and the momentum going. Any project, I know for me, I like chunks of time to jump into a new project because I need to like immerse myself and get in that energy and that mindset of that project. It's the same with the Legion. I need enough time doing it so that I've got that energy and that momentum going. And it truly, activity begets results. And the bigger and the more consistent the activity, the bigger and the more consistent the results. I can't tell you that what you're doing right now is going to pay off in 90 days, but I can tell you the activity you're doing is causing things to happen in your future. If you're not doing the activities, you're doing nothing to get this off the ground or not enough. Makes sense? So that's why number one question, do I own this goal? Is this my goal? And the goal I'll fight for? Or is this just a pie in the sky? Someday I'd love to do that. Is everybody okay with that? And remember, everybody's different in goal setting. I don't want this to be, this is the only way to look at it, but I think those are some qualifying questions that help you determine, are you someone who likes having a big goal and you're okay even if you don't make it? Because some people find that energizing. Or you're someone, if you have a big goal and you don't make it, you feel crummy. So you decide. I'm just saying the closer your goal can be to what you're going to actually accomplish and work for or have the bandwidth to work, right? We're not we're not pushing you and telling you how many houses you need to sell. You need to tell us by doing this how much you want to make. And then we'll see, is that doable? And then we as coaches ask you the questions of, okay, are you willing to put in the work? The next tab I want to introduce you to, and I'm just going to introduce you because we'll get into this so much deeper on Thursday. But the lead generation tab is the next tab. And this is going to tell you how many people do I need to have conversations with in order to make my goal of appointments and closings. Now there's a little, it's a little misleading on this page. And I have to be a little bit of a spoiler because there is a box on line 13 over to the right that is the box that's highlighted that says total contacts. That is a maintenance number, not a momentum number. So that's if you had been working your database and doing lead gen activities with strangers haven't met, and you've been doing all of those activities well, consistently, then that's only how many people you need to talk to every week. However, you guys don't have that momentum in your business, so you need to double that number. Makes sense? For this goal. Now, this may not be your goal. Your number might, but you have to do more in the beginning because remember, you're not even off the ground. Make sense? So this is where what I want you working on between now and Thursday is one, is my dollar goal? Is that gross goal and net goal? Is that truly my number? If not, go in there and adjust it. Get to your number. It should be a number. When I ask you your goal, it should just come right off your tongue. Also, then you should know how many appointments you need a week and a month. Those are things those are your key business numbers. And then on here, on line 12, on the left-hand side, I want you to put in how many people do you have in your database? Now, here's the catch. You're going to have two numbers. How many people do you have in your database? And then the number I want going in there is how many people in your database do you have their complete contact information, meaning you have their phone number, their mailing address, and their email. Because if you do not have those elements, then that's not a real number. So let's say you have 250 people in your phone, which goes into your database. Should be in there now, unless you're brand new. Of those, how many of them do you have all of their data? If you don't, you're not going to put in that 250 because that's not a real number because we can't get results out of a number in which we cannot easily communicate with them. If I can't on the drop of a hat send them all a text message through command, if I can't at the drop of a hat send them all an email, if I can't at the drop of a hat know where they live and be able to snail mail them, then I'm not going to get these results out of this number. It's how you work the number, the 250. It's how quality of data you have as to what kind of results you're going to get. So it's great if you have 250, but I'm going to tell you it's not a real number yet because you can't get the results. You can't get those ratios, and we'll go into that. But I want you putting in that number, your real number, and probably have two numbers and have one written down of here's how many, my total, here's how many I have with true data, with full data, because then it's your goal to fill in and get all that information so that you've got a real database and not a pretend database. Because we only get results out of a database that is full of good data. That's why we call it a database, not a name base. Think about it. We don't call it a name base. If it was just full of names, then, and most of you just have a name base and not a database. So let's build the database because that's how you'll help get your results. All right, any questions, Zoom? Any questions online? Okay. Was this helpful? I want you guys starting to get very comfortable with the business plan. And you're not, it takes a while, but I want you to get a little bit more comfortable. All right, we're going to log off of Zoom. Thank you, Zoomers. Jump onto the office Facebook page, and we're going to head down to the training room so we can be part of the business meeting. See you guys on Thursday or Wednesday night for Wednesday night mornings.
I'll be here.
I'll be here. Bye.